Hello, in this video we're going to go over parasitic infections of the GI, also known as the gastrointestinal tract. So let's get started with talking about Giardia and Entamoeba. So these are two common protists that can infect the gastrointestinal tract. You typically obtain these organisms by either eating or drinking contaminated water or food. And typically in the food or water, it wouldn't be the actual organism, but the small egg of the organism. And then when you consume it, the egg hatches into the, living adult, and then that's how you're infected. So starting with Giardia lamblia, this is a picture up here. It causes giardiasis, which is going to have severe diarrhea. You're going to have cramps, gas, um, so yeah, and again, this one is typically caused by contaminated, usually drinking water. It can be spread in pools. So if you are swimming and you accidentally swallowed a bit of water from the pool and that pool was contaminated, then yeah. So this is why it's important for public pools to have lots of chlorine, and all that. Okay, and then there's Entamoeba histolytica. It is an amoeba. It causes amoebic dysentery, which, again, fever, diarrhea, your abdomen could be distended, meaning it's kind of like, your stomach's like puffed out. Um, and yeah, again, obtained by eating or drinking contaminated food or water. And this is what the amoeba looks like. All right, then there's the worms, and golly, there's a lot of worms that can infect the GI tract. So, and these are all round worms, by the way, so meaning that they're physically round rather than flat. And as you can see, there's a lot of different types of roundworms. Again, you're going to be obtaining these typically through eating food that has been contaminated with the eggs of the worm. So it's usually not the whole worm that you are consuming accidentally, it's the egg, which you wouldn't see, right? So an egg literally is microscopic and it's just a tiny little circular thing like this. So these are microscopic pictures of the eggs of these worms, and you typically don't see it in the food. You wouldn't notice it. And then the eggs hatch, and then that's how you get worms in your intestinal tract. Anyway, so there's Ascaris, which causes ascariasis. And this is what ascaris looks like: a very gigantic, very humongously long roundworm. So yeah, you eat the eggs. This is what the eggs look like. By the way, this is under a microscope, right? So you would not be able to see that with your own eyes. Anyway, the eggs hatch, and hundreds of eggs are, oh, sorry, worms are born in your intestinal tract, and then they just kind of fill it up. Necator americanus is the hookworm. This one you can obviously obtain through eating the eggs, but a different way to obtain it is through your skin. So because it's found in the soil sometimes, if you are walking around barefoot on soil, the hookworm can actually, penetrate into your skin through your feet or whatever, however you're touching the soil. And then from your skin, it can then go into your digestive tract, or really go anywhere. But typically, it likes to hang out in the digestive tract. But yeah, horrifying. Okay, Enterobius vermicularis is the pinworm, super tiny little worm with very tiny little eggs. Same thing, you ingest it through eating the eggs. This one is really common in little kids because the eggs actually come out of, like, if you have pinworm, the eggs come out of your anus. Um, and little kids, they're scratching themselves down there, and then the the eggs of the worm are in their fingernails, and then the kid eats like a carrot or whatever, whatever kids eat, and that's how they keep self-infecting themselves or infecting others. Anyway, that's pinworm. And then there's Trichinella spiralis, um, which is found in contaminated pork. So, in the actual muscles of the pork are the eggs of this worm. And when you eat the pork, if it's not been cooked fully, then those eggs, again, same thing, hatch into your digestive system. So Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then there's tapeworms. Tapeworms are flat, and there's really two main tapeworms. There's Tinea saginata, which is found in beef, and Tinea solium, which is found in pork. Now, when you eat beef or pork, you're not eating the whole worm. You would obviously notice that. And you're not actually eating the eggs either. You're actually eating what we call the cyst. So I put eggs in quotation marks, but it's actually called the cyst. It is a, part of the life cycle of the worm. So here's the worm. Okay. The eggs are consumed by cows and pigs through, infected manure or whatever. Um, and then the worm infects the cow slash the pig, and it produces these cysts that are in the muscles of the pig slash cow. And these cysts are still very small, and they're found in the muscles. It's basically like a baby version of the worm, but is hidden inside of the muscles of the pig slash cow. Now, we, of course, consume beef slash pork, which is the muscles. And so you could accidentally consume the cysts, and then it would infect you. It's going to hatch into your digestive system and then produce the adult worms, which are gigantic, by the way. And that is obviously not good. Um, Now, for the saginata, um, the one that's found in beef, typically the worms just kind of hang out in your intestines. It makes more eggs, and that's pretty much it. So, not really too crazy. But in the tinea solium, which is found in pork, the worm could then produce larvae, and those larvae could go into your bloodstream and then travel to your brain and produce cysts in your brain. And so that's why tinea solium, a lot of people want to avoid much more than saginata. Saginata has doesn't really do that, whereas solium could possibly travel to your brain. So not good. Anyway, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.